Hi. Okay. So here's all the stuff about Charles Darwin, right? The medical people, Louis Pasteur, and everything. And if you missed today, we have just started imperialism. Whenever you see the word imperial, it means empire. Okay. Your Imperial Highness, empire. The Imperial Guard, the guard of the empire. The Imperial Starship, the empire. Okay. Um, Imperialism is just building empires. And y'all, we've done this all year long. But for whatever reason, in the 1800s especially, it just kind of explodes and everybody and their dog wants to own everything. Part of it is the industrial, oh, wrong map. Part of it is because of the Industrial Revolution and people wanting more. There we go. People wanting more places that they can get raw materials from. If they own it, they don't have to pay for it. Just take it over, and then it's free. Also, is playing into this is the idea of nationalism. The bigger area of land we own, the more powerful we are. Okay, look at this map. Everything that's in white is free. Most of South America, which is good because they just got rid of their king. Mexico, it's good. They just got rid of the king. The Ottoman Empire is intact. Okay, that's this two at this point. Up here, Sweden and Norway. China, yeah. Ethiopia, we'll talk about that in a minute. Anything that's in color is a parent country, a mother country, or a colony. Everything that's in this light pink salmon color is England. Purple, it's France. Green, not the light green, this like bright green is Germany. This blue, it's kind of hard to see because of the water, but this blue is us. Look at Africa. Every color is either a colony or a mother country. There are no mother countries you're looking at in Africa right now. It's all been taken over, except a little sliver right here and Ethiopia. It's not right. Look at the British Empire. Oops. Everything in red is at one point owned by England. Okay, so here we start out here with England, and they took over Scotland and Ireland forever ago. Okay, they took over us, the 13 colonies. They lost to us. But this is stuff that they've owned at some point. All right, Canada, a lot of the Caribbean islands, some South America. And look at all these islands that you see. Islands. Look at all these islands. Islands. Australia, New Zealand, parts of Indonesia, the East Indies, or the Spice Islands. India, Hong Kong, part of China, parts of the Middle East, and then a huge chunk of Africa. England is considered to have had at some point the biggest empire ever. It's not continuous. Look, they own, because they have so many islands and stuff, they own all the water here. They own all of this land. So they own all the water here. Okay. They own all of this from here around to here. So they own all of this water here. The same is true up here. They own all of this water here. Okay. You do have to add in the water when you're looking at England's empire. Okay. At this time, England is the most powerful country in the world, and other European, especially countries, and us want to be like her. Okay. Another cause of imperialism, building empires again, is Charles Darwin's idea of social Darwinism. Well, if you're weak and you can't keep up with the times, you deserve to get taken over. And kind of going along with that is another idea that comes from a poem written by this man. He's English, okay? I don't know if he's English. He's British. But I don't know where he's actually from. Like, I don't know if he's English or not. Okay, England. Just double checking. I just knew British. So yeah, his name is Rudyard Kipling. Rudyard. Or Rudyard. I hear people say that all the time. Rudyard. Right here. Oh my gosh. Not correct. Rudyard, not Richard. It's weird. Or what do I hear people say? Rudyard. Okay. Kipling writes a poem called The White Man's Burden. It is racist in its meaning. The white man's burden basically means this: hey, white people of the world, it's your burden. That means you must. It's your desire. It's your job. Hey, white people of the world, it is your burden. It is your job to go to all of the uncivilized, non-white places and civilize them. Okay, guys, it is racist. You should be getting mad. I'm white and it makes me mad. Okay, listen. Places in Africa, India, China, we've talked about them. They aren't uncivilized. Even tribal places aren't uncivilized. They just have a different type of civilized. Okay, you can still be tribal and highly civilized. However, this really just gives them justification to go and take over these groups of people. Hold on. Okay, sorry. So The idea at this time with this is if you're not European and you don't have a modernized, industrialized society, then you are uncivilized. And if you're uncivilized, we're not taking you over because we just want to own you. No, we see you as our children. And we want to give you our culture. Guys, at its heart, it's racist. It is. Can you share your culture? Can you share your industrialization with people and not conquer them? Uh-huh. That's how European countries got industrialized stuff. But that's kind of what this poem does. You'll read parts of it probably in your documents, okay? But like in class, but that coupled with the idea of social Darwinism is kind of like the harsher, like ruder way of saying, if you can't keep up, you deserve to be taken over. And this is kind of the, oh, no, there are children and we need to civilize them. Either way, non Europeans didn't ask for it. I'd rather them just be honest and say, we're going to take over all these non Europeans just because we want to, than play this, we're taking care of them game. Now, I will tell you, there's always good and there's always bad. There are some good things that England brings to India. There are. Industrialization. There's also some bad things socially that they do in India. Okay, so you're always going to have both sides. Alrighty? That being said, the British Empire. Oops. Here we go. Sorry. Okay, a lot of this we've kind of already talked about a little bit, or we've touched on in class or whatever. I have mentioned off and on that England already owns Scotland and Ireland. They have ever since the medieval period. Okay. We talked about with the French and Indian War, England getting Canada from France. Okay. Plus, you should have already learned that in the 8th grade. I'm going to go back and deal in a lot more detail with Africa. Okay. But the East Indies. England does take some of the East Indies away from the Dutch. Not all of it. The Dutch are still going to have a pretty good hold in here. All right. But they are going to take some of the East Indies islands, well, pieces of the islands away. All right. You also see here, they have a ton of the South Pacific Islands. We, which you should be learning in your Canvas stuff, have these islands here, including the Philippines. And it's when we take over the Philippines that Rudyard Kipling actually writes that poem. It's about us, America, taking over the Philippines. Okay. So they take some of the Dutch East Indies, all right, and then they're going to take Australia and New Zealand. Okay, we need to park ourselves a little bit and talk about Australia before we can move on. Okay. The people who live in Australia already, the natives, they are called the Aborigine. There we go. The Aborigine. Okay, the Aborigine as a people are fairly peaceful. Okay, they fight, all right? But they're not a warrior people. They're fairly peaceful. And they're a curious people. So whenever the English show up in Australia, the Aborigine come out and they're kind of looking at them like, do we trust you? And then they just start remember language. They don't know what each other are saying. The English are like, yeah, that's my coffee cup. Do you know what the Aborigine wants? They want to trade you a phone for your coffee cup. They're very curious. The English are like, okay. Okay, now listen. There's going to be some tribes who are going to be slaughtered. But compared to slaughter in other places, the Aboriginal slaughter isn't near as high as it's going to be in other places. There's still a lot that are going to die to English hands. Okay. But again, not near the numbers in other places. And part of it is because the Aborigine are very interested in the English. They like the clothes. They want some. They like the trade. They're able to adapt fairly decently. Okay. Again, there's still, yes, y'all, I'm not saying that it was totally peaceful with Aborigine. I'm not, because it wasn't. But compared to other places, the English aren't going to wholesale slaughter them. Okay. Then the English look at Australia and they're like, ugh, this entire side of Australia, it's the outback, it's a big desert. Gross, who wants that? So England has an idea. Look at the size of England. It's little. They're starting to become a crowding issue. And so England is like, what if we were to make Australia a penal colony? Okay, get over the word penal. Penal colony. When you look at the word penal, penalty. Penalty? Oh, penal means law. Penal code is a law code. Okay. A penal colony is a colony where you send your criminals. All right. They're going to stop like wasting space in England on prisons. And they're going to start sending their like hardcore criminals to a penal colony in Australia. Georgia was a penal colony too, by the way. Basically these are like work farms. Your sentence, I'm just making this up. If your sentence is 10 years, okay, then you are sent to Australia and you work in the outback. You farm over here or you do whatever. Guys, there's not like hardcore what's the word? Lockdown on the island of Australia. Where are you going to go? I mean, if you jump the fence, where are you going to go? You're like, well, I'll get in a ship and I'll go up here or I'll go over here or I'll just go home. Yeah. No, you're not. You're not going to be able to get on a ship and go anywhere. Now, we do know some of the first settlers, English settlers, to New Zealand rafted over. Yeah, for real. The Aborigine talked to them about land to the south or whatever that is. And they, boom, found it. And then some of them got killed because the people who live here aren't peaceful and curious. But we'll get there in a minute. There's not like hardcore security here. If you get loose, you're probably going to die in the outback. That being said, you serve your 10-year, 20-year, 5-month, whatever sentence, okay, doing hard labor. Then you're free. Ish. Once you're sent to Australia, you can't ever go back to England again. But my wife and daughter are here. Yeah, that's what Sweeney Todd said too. My music people, or theater, whatever. If you're clueless, look it up. Guys, you have to stay here. What are they supposed to do? Well, they can buy land. They can become like indentured servants and work for an Aboriginal family until they're able to pay for the land. But they're free. But they're free on Australia. Okay. What you're going to start having happen is a whole lot of Englishmen are going to start forming relationships with Aboriginal peoples. And those two cultures are going to start mixing. Quite often, still to this day, when you hear an Aboriginal person speaking English, it sounds just like an Australian. You're like, yeah, that's because that's how they talk. No, that's English, guys. I'm afraid they'll be naked. Look at there. Have you ever been to Outback? Is that Alice Springs? Yeah.
Where were you before that?
Oh, Little Sisters Camp. Yeah.
Before
Little Sisters, I was at Bush living at Kings Canyon on my
Yeah, she doesn't really sound Australian. Anyway, a lot of the time you're going to hear Aboriginal people with an English accent that sound just like Australians do.
Business here for 30,000 years or so, until some anthropologists came along and noticed.
We have a word for one, but that's about it. Because in our language, we don't use numbers. We have a word for one, but that's about it.
Years or so.
He said, we don't use numbers in our language. We have a word for one, but that's about it. Listen to how he says it. Sounds pretty Australian to me.
Until some anthropologists came along and noticed that they didn't use numbers.
Okay, listen.
People get very interested in word meaning. Because in our language, we don't use numbers. We have a word for one, but that's about it.
Until recently.
Okay. Here are some pictures. Oh, it's okay. Oh my gosh, I forgot a lot of pictures. I forgot some pictures to show you. Here are some pictures of some Aboriginal people. Okay. That's an Aboriginal man. They're such a neat people. I wish I had more time to like teach them. They're really cool people. Most beautiful smiles ever. Such a cool people. Nope, that's not Aboriginal. They just accept culture from English, but they keep their culture too. It's a really beautiful, cool blend. Now, again, please understand, I'm not saying there's no fighting. There is, but they are able to adapt better than some other groups. Now, let me go back and show you some of these because I should have shown you these before. Look at this right here. This is just kind of, I don't know, shocking to me. And I'm not knocking England. You guys, I like England. Okay? But only 22 countries have never been invaded by England. There's 200 and something in the world, guys. Only 22. They're the ones that are in this gray. That's it. Isn't that crazy? Okay, look at this picture, and it should tick you off. It has to do with the idea of the white man's burden. It should make you cringe. It should. It's totally racist. But look at this. This right here was a picture from the time, okay, that is showing England. It's like a political cartoon. It's showing England right here going up to civilization and liberty. Yes. On his back, he's carrying a Chinaman, an Indian. I don't know where. Zulu, South Africa. And look what he's walking up. Brutality, slavery, cruelty, ignorance. The idea is the only way that these people can get here is if I take them that way. There's another one that I've seen. There's more to this picture where you actually have like he's pointing at Uncle Sam doing the same thing, carrying people. There we go. I didn't even notice whenever I put that up there that it was cut off. Ugh, that makes me want to puke. As you know, I have absolutely no time in any way, shape, or form for racist crap. I will not deal with it. Where did that picture go? Where did I just save that picture to? Well, seriously? File, save as. Oh, it's in nationalism folder. Sheesh, man. There we go. It should be in here now. This should make you cringe. This should tick you off. All right? This should be upsetting because it's not right. But this kind of crap in the 1800s was circulating around. So here you have, what's his name? England, okay, carrying what he's conquered. Oh, that infuriates me. Here you have Uncle Sam carrying what he's conquered. Guys, these were published pictures back then. The white man's burden. I can't even imagine really believing this crap. I can't imagine looking at one of my best friends who's not white and looking at her and saying, oh yeah, that's what I believe. Oh, this makes me want to throw up. Anyway, there we go. Okay, so anyway, Australia. There are going to be some big issues in Australia, especially in like the early 1900s. But like I said, compared to some other places, it's not so bad. Okay. Other places like what? Well, other places like New Zealand. Australia's right here. New Zealand is right here. The people who are native to New Zealand are another really cool people. They are called, let me show you their name, Maori. Sometimes I hear people say Maori. No, Maori. The Maori are a little bit more warlike naturally. Like they fight more often than Aborigine. And they definitely don't really want Europeans there. All right. Little Sophie was like, pick me up, please. Oh, sorry, Sophie. Anyway, we were talking about the Maori. Okay. The Maori, they're such a cool people. They're much more warlike than the Aborigine. Much more warlike. And they are not interested in the English. When the English show up, they get in a formation and they squat and they start slapping their thighs and their chests and they're doing a dance. And you're like, seriously? Yeah. And they start popping their eyes and they start sticking their tongue out. And the English are like, because see, to us in the Western world, you stick your tongue out at somebody, it's like, it's supposed to be kind of like funny or immature or whatever. Yeah. In their culture, when you pop your eyes and when you stick your tongue out, you're about to be dead. You're about to murder someone. They're so cool. I love the Maori. This is a Maori, whoops, man. Look at the tattoos. And they do the tattoos old school. Moana, old school. These are the same people group as Moana, Polynesians. Doesn't that look like Maui's tattooing? This is a Maori man popping his eyes. That tongue, you're about to die. The dance that I'm referring to is called the haka. Again, look at the chest tattoos. Are you being reminded of Maui a little bit in Moana? Yeah. Maui even does a haka dance sort of in Moana when he starts like trying to get the whatever it is to open where the crab lives, and then they fall down that thing. He's like hitting his thighs. It's a haka. We think of it as, oh, that's cute. It's a dance. It's a war dance. I love this picture. This is the best picture ever, Sophie. We have a Maori man, okay? In English attire. We're showing a mix of cultures. I just think that's cool. I love different cultures. I love when cultures mix. It's so fun. Except a whole bunch of the Maori are going to be slaughtered by the English. Compared to the Aborigine, it's a bloodbath. Obviously, we still have Maori today, okay? But, oh, I can't move it. Why can't I move it? I can't move my arm either because Sophie's here. There we go. I think that's the last one. Okay, yeah. But I do want to show you a haka. Sophie, baby, I need you to sit up for a second. YouTube. Moana. Maui. Haka. Watch. The first time you saw that, did you watch that and think, what the heck? The first time I watched it, I was like, he's doing a haka. Cool. Look. Guys, it's a war dance. I just love that. Where'd my thing go? There we go. Look at this. There is a New Zealand rugby team called the All Blacks. Rugby, okay. Sophie, do you want down, baby? Come on, baby. This rugby team does the haka. We won't watch the whole thing, but I do show these in class. In this particular video,
And now the All Black.
you have France here, and then the All Blacks. Some of them are going to be Maori-like heritage, and some of them are going to be British heritage. But watch, they're going to do a haka before their game. The idea of the haka is that it's intimidation. That's the whole purpose, intimidation. Oh, I thought he was about to start. See, you have British background and you have Maori background all together. And what's also really cool is there is a high school who we play sometimes in playoffs called Euless Trinity. They always beat us, but we play them sometimes. They do a haka before their football games. Why? I don't know. There's a whole group of like, it's weird because like right in the middle of Dallas, there's a whole group of like Polynesian people. Okay. Why? I don't know why they went there, but they did. It's really cool though. And they do a haka before their games. Okay, here we go.
Well, the challenge.
It's really cool to me how like historical cultural stuff still comes into our time period today. It still permeates stuff today. It's really cool. Okay, haka. Look, Euless Trinity, it came up. Okay, there's one that's cool, and there's one that they've put like Ozzy Osbourne music to, and it's just stupid. Is it this one? Yeah. This is a high school. It's a high school that we play. All right, so you're seeing a mix of like cultural stuff, even again permeating into like modern day, sorry, Dallas, Texas, or wherever Euless Trinity is. So it's kind of cool, pretty neat. That being said, the Maori are going to get a lot of them slaughtered. I don't know why I'm all like, all of a sudden, a lot of them are going to get slaughtered. Okay. We still have a lot left. We could have more if the English hadn't slaughtered them, but I'm going to stop this here and we'll do the second half of the British Empire later.